All right, welcome back, everybody. Over the last several months, we've been learning all about Brooke Goff, founding attorney of Goff Law Group.
Certainly, she's got a busy life as an attorney and a business owner, not to mention being a mom and a wife. So how does she find time to be just Brooke? We all got to think about that. She sat down with Melissa Cole to talk about finding the balance. Take a look.
We're here with attorney Broke Goff at her beautiful home in West Hartford, and we are chatting about work life, mom life, balancing it all. You know, many of us struggle with this on the day-to-day. We have kids, we have jobs, we're trying to do everything. And it's not always easy.
No one's immune from it, right? So it's not easy. And I think that especially, so I hold many hats, right? So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, and I'm a lawyer. So I look at all of those as all different, and then I'm Brooke. I also need my time too, right? So I have 5 jobs, and I do the best I can to try to balance them all.
How do you do it though? Like if you've got a busy work day, your kids have something at night, you know, like how do you prioritize things throughout the day?
Well, I'll tell you, the rule number 1 for doing what I do is you have to forgive yourself, because you are not going to do 100% of everything you want to do, and you can't think that all of a sudden your kids are going to be impacted down the road because you know, like you couldn't make that trip for ice cream or whatever. You have to forgive yourself, because there's always a payment that everybody has to make, your whole family. So if I have to go into work to do something, and it's later in the night, it happens a lot, 7 o'clock, and I have something that shows up for tomorrow, and I do better in the office. I have a family, you know, and all that here. You know, your children benefit too, because you're giving them a life that you didn't have. But they also suffer because, you know, like you can't go for the ice cream trip. So I'll tell you, balancing was something that's been key for me, and I don't mean to sound like this entitled person. No, my parents never had it, but I've had a night nurse since Victoria was born. It has allowed me to get 5 nights of sleep a week, which I think is critical. I think that the first thing that happens to us as CEOs and moms and everything else is the lack of sleep catches up, and it catches up fast, and you then can't be who you need to be for everybody. And that's the downfall of everything. If if you can only be 40% in everything you do, you're not very efficient, right? So what I did is, seeing this all play out, because I just, again, had a baby, is 9 months ago actually now, but I actually took out an insurance policy. We offer separate insurance for our staff. It's through Carrot, and it actually covers the firm pays up to $10,000 per employee, and one of the things you can use it for is night nurses.
Wow.
So if you're coming back to work, they will bring in doulas, and they will, even if it's 2 to 3 nights a week, whatever it is, right? It allows you to get that reprieve, and having gone through it as a mom, that has been the #1 key to my ability to do it all.
But I feel like that's not normal, and most companies wouldn't.
They didn't. So we pledged $500,000 to do it. So yeah, just about $500,000, I should say. And it's not normal. But what I try to do is I try to create the best, most supportive work environment I can for my staff and my employees, because you can go through staff all day long. The cheapest form of hiring and really keeping staff is loyalty. And you earn loyalty by giving before you're asked to give. And for me, I knew how big of a deal it was. I'm like, this has got to be, no, I didn't even get to use it for me because I got it afterwards. But I thought to myself, I'm like, what is it? How can I do this? And we found a company that does it. And they also cover infertility. They cover adoption. They cover surrogacy, things that normal insurance wouldn't cover and normal people don't have access to pay for. So to me, the night nurse thing was huge. I think it allowed me, I have 2 nannies. I have a nanny for my daughter and a nanny for my son. Not everybody has that ability, I understand, but for me, you're asking me, for me, it's really hard to bring people into your world that you trust. I would recommend to any mom, if you compare the cost of a nanny to daycare, it's very similar. But the problem with nannies are it takes time to find the right one. So if you're talking about having kids, you should start looking now, because it can take a year to find that perfect person. But once you find the diamond in the rough for your family, they care about your kids equally as much as you do.
It becomes part of your family.
They both are part of my family. I mean, I know that, I always used to use the judgment, like if there was ever a fire, I would want somebody to grab my children the same as they would grab their own. And I know that my 2 nannies would do the same for my kids. They're great.
That's great. And what about like family traditions? Do you guys do family dinners, weekend breakfasts?
Sure. My son's 11, so he's a little too cool for the family dinner. We try, and he wants cheeseburgers every night and steak, whatever phase that is, and chicken nuggets. So, but we do a lot on the weekends. We try to get out. This is my favorite season. We go to carnivals, fairs. We go my son and I is a huge mini golfer. I'm a huge golfer. So we go on these weekends. They're called, we call them the Mini Golf Championship of the Year, and we find golf courses we've never done before, and we'll travel state to state, and we'll do all that. Like I think it's important that when you have more than one child, you try to spend individual time with each. Victoria's not old enough to understand that, but Grayson certainly is. But I definitely think nights are most important. I did have to shift and put it down at night. Like, even if it's just 2 hours, put it down at night, spend time with your kids. Even if that means you have to stay up late, I'll pay the price of staying up an extra 2 hours to do the work if it means that my son thought I was a superhero for 2 hours a night when we watched some ridiculous Disney thing and
But it's
popcorn.
the quality time.
It's the quality time, yeah.
All right, well, thank you
That's
so
what we
much.
do it. Sure.
All right, and if you would like to get in touch with attorney Brooke Goff, she might be able to help you. You can visit gofflawgroup.net. Also find her on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Certainly is, it's a challenge. You got to find that balance.
You got to find that balance. Still ahead. We're going to find the balance in the kitchen with the chef from Sift Bake Shop. Adam Young is in the house.